So why aren't feed-forward networks used for these sorts of tasks? Well, for a start, they're not well suited for variable length inputs because they can only accept inputs with a fixed dimension. Now, in principle, we could try and circumvent this. Say if we were doing a language translation task where each input corresponds to the word in a sentence. We could take that text corpus and look at the largest sentence in the corpus and then have our input size equal to that. For any smaller sentences, we could then just pad those sentences with zeros. However, a more fundamental problem with that is that feed-forward networks don't generalize well to sequences not observed in training. So let's consider two equal length sentences. They consist of 13 words and they would correspond to 13 different inputs. So the first sentence is, Machine Learning in Science Part 2 is the best course I have taken. And the second sentence is, the best course I have ever taken is Machine Learning in Science Part 2. Now, to a human, those sentences are very similar to each other. But to a feed-forward network, where each word corresponds to an input, they would mean completely different things, as that network would have separate parameters for each input feature. And it would need to learn these two different sentences separately, for all the different possible positions in that sequence, and this would require much more training data. The big advantage of RNNs is that they share parameters across the sequence, so the connections between each of the hidden states, the recurrent connections, are the same. This means that it doesn't matter, for example, if Machine Learning in Science Part 2 are the first 6 words in that sentence, or they're the last 6 words in a sentence. It's the fact that they're together sequentially which is important, and the RNN will be able to learn. So this is rather similar to a CNN, which uses parameter sharing for the convolutional filters, and it doesn't matter where an image a particular feature will be. So let's consider